again to the Casual Shooters podcast. Today it's me, Huggy, and Leo. Guys, say hello.
Hello.
Huggy. Okay, hello. He said, there we go. He's definitely having strokes today. So today we have a guest that we're going to interview. I'd like to go ahead and introduce him now, Andy. From Velocity Ammo Sales and another former Marine. So let's bring him in now. Hey, Andy, how are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Andy's coming live to you from one of the greatest battles in the history of the Civil War, Chancellorsville.
Yep. Right between the Wilderness and Chancellorsville. Yep.
Boom. Right there.
America.
All right. So, Andy, before we get into the meat and potatoes of all this, we like to ask a few questions first to get to know our guest and make it a little bit more personal.
Yep.
So we're going to start with, what's your favorite movie?
Wow, I don't know. Right now, I'm a big fan of the original Mad Max for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because my parents wouldn't let me watch it when I was a kid. But
fair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Raiders of the Lost Ark. All the Raiders of the Lost Arks are probably my favorite. So yeah.
Okay.
That kind of adventure. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an archaeologist. I was, in the history growing up around here. Obviously there's a lot of Civil War history and just history on the East Coast. So that always fascinated me. But yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark probably.
Okay.
Pretty good choice.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, favorite book?
Right now, Empire of the Summer Moon, about the Comanches. That's a good book. It's about how the Comanches, they were, I think they fought the U.S. Army to a stalemate. They're the only, back then that was saying something. But yeah, that's a pretty good book. I got a lot of other. There's another one I like called what has that read in a while? It's called Confederate Gold. It's about how it's about a guy, Bob Brewer. He started discovering buried gold out in Arkansas, and he figured out his grandfather was involved in it. But it's basically I don't know if you call it a conspiracy theory or theory that the Confederacy went and hid a lot of their riches out west because they knew the end of the war was coming and they were going to try to do this again. They went and buried a lot of stuff, but it's since now become kind of lost.
Is that the one that talks about like the Knights of the Golden Circle and how Jesse James is and all that stuff? And
the Knights of the Golden Circle and how his grandfather was helping him hide this stuff and was like a guardian of it. But it's a pretty cool book. It gets down the rabbit hole a little bit, but it's pretty interesting. Yeah,
with all the secret codes and everything.
Yeah, that guy was a genius to figure all that stuff out, and yeah, that's a pretty good one. I don't know. I read a lot of books, so every book I read is kind of my favorite at the time. So I don't really have a one per se, but I read a lot of history books. Not so much the fantasy like Game of Thrones or nothing, but just books that are real, I guess, about history. And I don't know. I think you should always be learning. So books are a great way to always be learning, and you can have great access to books now with stuff like Audible and. Oh, you can go anywhere. You can be driving to the beach on vacation and listen to a book. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how many books I have on my Kindle app on my tablet, Yeah,
it's cool. And I got a lot, I'm I guess I'm old school, but I like the books. I like to smell them and just have them. And sometimes people look at all the books I have and they're like, wow, what do you do with all these books? I'm like, I don't know, read them and reread them too, and just, I don't know, they're nice. I don't like to have them. I do
like the smell of a good book.
I'm still one of those guys who goes in Fredericksburg here. There's still 2 bookstores around, so I at least my wife makes fun of me at least twice a month. I'm in the bookstore, so I don't know. It's like a place of solitude for me. But, yeah.
I have actually gone to a bookstore, gotten a cup of coffee, bought a book, and sat down and just read.
I have done the exact same thing, Dave. Yep. And I used to do that. I've actually read books in the bookstore while I was drinking my coffee and then felt bad. So I went and bought the book, even though I just read it. And because I didn't want to, I felt bad. That's exactly without paying for it. But yeah.
You know, they have a thing called a library where you can do that.
I know.
Yeah, my place of solitude is I take the book to the bathroom because I got 2 kids. That's the only place I could be alone, other than when I'm doing this. So
I don't have
get
kids,
it.
but man, my dog won't let me. My dog won't even let me go to the bathroom by myself. But I would, you're right about the library. I would go to the library, but man, there's some weirdos hanging out in libraries now. These local cops are telling me about the weirdos that are running out of libraries now. Yeah.
I've run a couple of weird calls in libraries. I get it.
Sad.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. How about your favorite fictional character?
Man, fictional character. I got a lot of them, man.
This is actually Leo's question.
Fictional character.
It's a head scratcher.
We can come back to that one. We can be like,
I got a bunch of them. Like I said, like Mad Max. There's always like Obi-Wan Kenobi or stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi's probably real.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
Yeah, he's larger than life, but
yeah.
People like
I love that guy.
Cool movies like that and stuff like that.
All right, favorite gun.
Man, it's a hard one, Favorite of all time, I don't know. I was a kid. So my dad worked at, if you're in the area, if you're from Virginia or this side of Virginia, a place called Clark Brothers Gun Shop. We're outside Warrenton, actually.
Yep.
And my dad worked there for 30 some years. So in the summertime, I would go there. I mean, I basically went to work with my dad and I would go replace the boards on the range and just hang out in the shop with all those guys. And they would just teach me about everything. And back then, they had a rack with used guns on it. And the guy that owned it, John Clark, would just say, hey, I would go work on the range and clean up the range just for ammo. So he would let me take any gun off the used rack and shoot it. So, back then M1 carbines were a dime a dozen, real cheap, just anything. Winchester pump rifles that were like $50 back then. Now they're like $2,000 worth. I wish I'd have bought a crate of them, but honestly, back then, so everyone's heard of Heckler and Koch, H&K.
Yeah.
They were up in Chantilly. Every Friday, they had a guy come down, a big old guy, big muscular guy. His name was Roger Moore, black guy. Roger Moore, like James Bond. And H&K used to use Clark Brothers as a test facility. So every Friday during the summer when I was out of school, I'd make sure I was out there because he let me fire everything from full auto MP5, suppressed MP, everything they were test firing. I was out there with him. I was like his little puppy. So that was really cool. That was a unique experience to be exposed to that because I have to say my favorite gun because that's probably any of the HK like roller lock weapons. I for some reason I always liked those things. And I used MP5s in the Marine Corps, so I got a soft spot in my heart for those HK rifles. But Ruger Bearcat single action little 22 pistols, they're a favorite. Just all those guns from my childhood that are pretty cool. I like I'm a huge fan, got a soft spot in my heart for 1903 Springfields. I have a pretty good collection of those. My dad had started collecting those. I got a lot of really nice ones that I've traced back to. They were Marine Corps issued, using the Banana Wars and stuff like that. They're pretty cool, man. I like those guns, and to this day, those guns are super accurate for what they were. Super accurate.
Right. Okay.
So probably I would say HK, those rifles, and then like a 1903 Springfield's probably my favorite. So toss up between those two.
Okay. So I guess we'll go there next. Is I'm going to save what I was going to be the last question. I'm going to save it for later. So you and I did similar things in the Marine Corps. We never served together. I didn't know you in the Marine Corps.
Yep.
We met afterward here locally in Fredericksburg. But why don't you let us know what you did in the Marine Corps?
I went to Marine Corps 91. Young kid from Warrenton, Virginia, wanted to go see the world. Signed up for infantry, man. Went over to Okinawa and was in 4th Marines for a while. And they had a regimental scout platoon that got in that for a while. Then I started seeing these dudes down the beach with 3rd Recon Battalion back then. And those guys were, you know, parachuting out over the ocean and doing just all kinds of cool shit, you know. And that was where you started, Dave, wasn't it?
Yes, I was there from December of 85 to December of 87.
Yeah, so we both started kind of in the same in this.
I was a baby back then. Literally, I was like,
we did a little, I guess, a deployment to Team Spirit and Korea. So I was working. There was a guy in the SARC, the Surveillance Reconnaissance Center. He was you know, Joe Yeager. He was in 3rd Recon Battalion. I was in there helping with some radio watch and stuff like that. And he had a broken arm. So he was in there, but, you know, this guy was dual cool, scuba bubble wings. I started talking to him. And he goes, you know, when we get back, we're going to run an NDOC. Why don't you do it? He gave me a Ranger handbook and all this stuff to look at. And I just talked to that guy for a while. He treated me, you know, he didn't treat me like a boot that I was. But so, yeah, a couple months when we got back, they ran NDOC. I did it and went to 3rd Recon Battalion, got orders over there. And that's where I stayed until 97. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. You were over there for 6 years?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, never left. I guess hindsight, I wish I would have left. I don't know, man. There was always like every time I thought about going somewhere, rotating to a different unit, there was just like a float coming up or, hey, just hang out for a while, extend for a little bit because we're getting ready to go to Australia. So, you know, like, oh, I haven't been there. Let's go to Australia. So I just ended up hanging out over there for a while. And it was cool, you know, back then in the 90s. Yeah, it was cool. There were some larger than life people over there. I learned a lot. Had some really good, still lifelong friends. The platoon I was in. I went into a direct action platoon, you know, with the hostage rescue and stuff like that. And I still talk to every single one of those guys not every day, but I still talk to those guys a lot. That was a tight platoon.
So was that DRP or did it become something else?
No, DRP was the Deep Reconnaissance Platoon. It was just the DA platoon. It was the direct action. We went, you know, pies and did CQB. And back then, the Marine Corps did they called the CIF, the CIF, the Commanders in Extremist Force. The Marine Corps didn't do it anymore. They turned it over strictly to Army Special Forces. And now I think they gave it up. And I think now it's just strictly JSOC does all. It was back then. It was just, you know, you had these little CIF forces, whether it be over in Asia where we were at. It was us. So a direct action platoon, hostage rescue, and we had a RNS platoon, reconnaissance and surveillance platoon with us. And we just traveled around. It was us, a platoon of Navy SEALs, a Green Beret team, and we didn't always work together, but that was what kind of made up that, you know, if something happened over in that area before the cool guys could come and take over, then we were like we could be, they said, anywhere in that region within 6 hours. So we were kind of like the first line of defense until someone bigger and badder came over and took it. So we never really did anything. We just traveled around a lot of cool training, a lot of cool places we went and did stuff. It was pretty cool, man. So I was unique that I got to do that at such a young age. Normally in the Marine Corps, you don't get to do that until you're
now when I left in 87,
get some rank on you, but that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. When I left in 87, that platoon did not exist.
Yeah.
DRP was Bravo 1.
Yep.
I was in Bravo 2, and then you had Charlie 1 and Charlie 2. But, you know, I went to Korea 3 times. I went to the Philippines 3 times.
Yeah.
And NTA, I still say, is the best training area I have ever been to in my life. It's also the scariest at midnight when there's zero illumination.
Yeah, you could definitely walk off a steep embankment or a drop off. Even night vision NTA. It's bad. It's bad. It was cool, and I agree with you, man. And you know, people think that you look at NTA when you get below that canopy, whatever.
Yeah,
it's pretty damn hilly, man. There's some steep hills, and you know, you're humping a 50-pound ruck.
Yeah,
going up and down. It's a smoker, man. You had to be.
That is the only. Well, okay, no, I'm not gonna say that. One of only 2 times that I've ever been scared was in NTA. We were all moving, and it must have been midnight.
Yeah,
and I literally could not
a good
see.
idea.
No, it was horrible. And we're exactly what you're saying. I mean, it was steep drop-offs. And I literally, you hear people say, "Oh, it's so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face."
Yeah,
Absolute truth.
it is.
I have
true,
never been in that position ever anywhere in my life except there. And I was literally doing this, trying to find the guy in front of me.
You can touch your face and not even see your hand, not even.
That's how it was. Yeah, I couldn't see my hand, and I was trying to. My eyes are like this, and I'm trying to hang on to the guy in front of me. Holy crap!
It's like Silence of the Lambs when she was in the basement with Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
And, he's looking at it. He has a night vision. It's like that. It was kind of freaky,
but with night vision, there has to be some ambient light, and if it's not getting through, you have to have a degree of ambient light for those to work.
Right.
And if there's none at all, you're just wearing a really heavy thing that's making your neck sore.
Yeah, I don't know your guys' background, but me and Dave can attest. Back then in those times, night vision technology was like maybe a step above what they started introducing in Vietnam. It wasn't that great. It's okay. There's no depth perception,
right?
Like you said, Leo.
It's like the Starlight scope, where it's just this hazy green.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit better than that.
Yeah, right. And you can't really rely on that in the jungle up in NTA and Okinawa because it just didn't work. It was better for if you're moving down the road or driving a vehicle, it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, these guys, I got a bunch of guys who retired, 20, 30 years in, and they're telling me that the night vision technology now is, leaps and bounds. It is. I'd like to look through one because I think it'd be pretty cool to see. If you look through a PVS 7 and then whatever they have now, it's got to be like Star Wars-esque compared to what we have.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more depth perception with what they have now, and the additional thermal settings that you can put on those things. But
absolutely.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to fall down a ravine and be like, well, there goes John.
I know. Yeah. And like you said, those things were like, you put it in the outside pocket of your pouch or whatever, the night vision. You only use it when you really needed it because, like you said, it was a 10-pound weight on your head.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only time we used it was in Korea, where you would put you'd put I want to say they were AMPVS 5s.
Something like that, yeah.
And then we'd take the Tasco binoculars and then put them on the other side, so you would be able to see a lot farther and a lot more stuff at night. I mean, literally, that's the only time I ever used that stuff.
I know, and I've done that before. I've put a spotting scope in Thailand. I was looking down this river, and I was looking for this raid force come down this river in Zodiacs. But, like you said, it was like I couldn't see the hand in front of my face. It was a little bit of ambient light, but I was laying on this bridge crossing the river, and I had a spotting scope. And I was like, hey, I wonder if I put these MVGs up there. Man, lo and behold, I could see for like a mile down river. It's pretty cool. But, but you really needed some. Those things weren't that good. They weren't good at all.
They weren't great. Not at all. I agree.
Yeah, the only time I've ever had that feeling was in a fire where my partner was literally right in front of me, and I'm like, Schultz, where are you at? And he's like, put your hand out. And I'm like, oh, and he was like within 6 inches of me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, we're good.
It's a weird feeling, man.
It's terrifying.
Weird feeling.
Yeah, it's not good.
I know. It's like I've done that. I was a diver in the military. I went to dive school, and underwater at night sometimes, there's sometimes, man, you don't know if you're what way you're facing. You don't know if you're hanging upside down. You don't know because it's just so damn dark.
Yeah.
Right. Then you start thinking bigger than you in there.
Yeah. Everything in the ocean feeds at night. And you're like, now I'm part of the food chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And not at the top of the food chain. Yeah.
Nope, not at the top.
Yeah.
That sucked because I dove, and I've been in some situations where the visibility was like 0, and you're sitting there and your mind starts running.
Oh, it's crazy.
And you're like, is there a large alligator down here? Piranha?
Yeah. You're like, was that a piece of kelp or was that like Jaws that just bumped my leg?
Right. That's the thing. Anything can touch you when it's like that. You turn into a 4-year-old girl. You start freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm like,
Jaws is not a sponsor.
Yeah. I'm trying to control my breathing, yet at the same time, I can hear my heart rate in the water just go. And I'm like, if I can hear my own heart rate, then whatever animals down here can hear it too.
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You should have just pretended you were an orca hug, you'd just be like,
Yeah,
So-
then a megalodon would have came along and ate me.
no matter what, you're done.
Right.
So Andy and I ended up meeting because he was, I don't know how to exactly say this, owner, co-owner, part owner of Velocity Ammo Sales, and talking, and we realized we had the same background. And then because of our background, we also went to get-togethers in the area.
Yeah.
You met my buddy Mark up in Prince William,
Oh
actually.
yeah, Mark Slatton, great guy.
Yeah. So that's how we met. So Andy, how did you get from being at Third for 6 years and doing that stuff in the Marine Corps to being in ammunition sales?
Kind of a long story. If you got a minute, I'll make it short as possible. But so I got out in '97. I got out. I was actually going to stay in. And had orders to go to Second Force Recon. My mom died very suddenly. Dad started having problems. I had extended my MOS was closed for re-enlistment at the time, so I extended my enlistment to stay in to wait for it to open up. In the meantime, I was going to go to Second anyway. So mom had died. My dad started having some medical issues and stuff. So I ended up at the end of that extension. I got out to go help my dad. So I applied for a lot of places when I got out. So I was on the waiting list to go to the next class for the DC Park Police, diplomatic security. I was also on the waiting for the next academy or where they had to do it. So in the meantime, and that was, that wait was going to be like 3 or 4 months for me to do that. I'd already done the background checks and passed all that stuff to get in, but there's going to be a little bit of wait before I could get into the next classes or whatever. So I actually went to work for an airline at Dulles Airport. I was living in Warrenton, Virginia. I went to work for United Airlines. And, man, I moved up pretty quickly there. I was loading baggage, man. I was just hanging out. Free flight benefits, could fly, I was hanging out there doing that. I got promoted pretty quickly, actually. Wasn't really seeking to, but I got promoted to supervisor, then to manager. And, man, by the time it came for me to go to the Park Police or the State Department or whatever, I was like, man, screw that. I'm staying here. This is awesome. I had, good jobs, making good money. And working at that airport was kind of like working in its own little city. It was something new every day. It was pretty fun. So I did that for a while. I got into the aircraft maintenance side of it. Started getting my aircraft power plant mechanic license and stuff like that. Went to work in the hangar. 9/11 happened. Of course, we know what happened to the airline industry after 9/11. Gutted. Showed up for work one day. They were closing up our shop. Said, Thursday's the last day. Here's your severance check. So I went from doing all that stuff to kind of hung out, saved money. My dad at that time had been diagnosed with cancer. So sold my house up by Front Royal, moved back to Warrenton, got an apartment as my dad got progressively worse. He ended up succumbing to cancer. But as it got progressively worse, I just moved back in his house with him. And took care of him when he had cancer. And I worked for a buddy who had a land surveying business. And I kind of did that off and on with him while I was taking care of my dad. But, after my dad passed, all that stuff, me and my brother got all that stuff straight. I went to work. I met my wife. My wife and I actually went to high school together. She had been traveling around the world, software sales and a lot of stuff. So we met. She was back in town, and we both met, recognized each other. Long story short, we moved to Fredericksburg. She took a job up here. I moved to Fredericksburg. So I got back into aviation up here with a company called Zenith Aviation. And they are a huge parts, technical, just a lot of stuff. And they support, and I ran the kind of the warehousing side of that for that. At that time, I had a lot of knowledge about the aircraft that they were dealing with. And a lot of the aircraft they dealt with was the ISR flights for the State Department, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance flights. They supported the SOCOM fixed wing assets that SOCOM, the Special Operations Command, had. We did all the parts and a lot of maintenance for the entire Coast Guard helicopter fleets. So yeah, there were some cool projects there as far as like some of those ISR aircraft and stuff goes. And it's pretty cool when you look at what the capabilities I learned that the U.S. government has with these flights and what they can do. You know, we supported the aircraft, and not to get into it too much, but you know, those guys, there was a other government agency, I should say, went over to Afghanistan with some fast moving civilian jets and 3D mapped the entire country of Afghanistan for SOCOM and the military. So that was pretty cool to be part of that. It was pretty neat. But yeah, I got out of that. So at the meantime, you know, I stopped working there in, God, it must have been 2017 or no, 2018, I think. 2018. So in the meantime, my buddy Dave, who is married to my wife's best friend, Dave Hazlett, he was doing these gun shows with his father. You know, he had in the construction business, him and his dad really into guns. You know, they were doing this big gun show up in Chantilly, Virginia. Very hard to get into. You had to kind of be grandfathered in to get a table there. So they were selling some guns in here and some 1911s and whatever up there and a little bit of ammo. When Sandy Hook happened, you know, of course, we all remember that. That's the first time we all saw ammo prices skyrocket, where the availability become nothing. So he started selling ammo, started getting ammo and selling it, and just started snowballing. So he asked me, like, hey, man, Andy, do you want to help me do these gun shows and sell ammo? So we did it. I started helping them do gun shows. And, you know, back then we thought if we could buy a couple of cases of ammo, we thought we were, you know, hot shit. Thought we were killing it, you know. We went to the gun show and made $6,000 or $7,000, $8,000, man. We thought we were, you know, Donald Trump or something. But, you know, it quickly snowballed into like just putting ammo in the back of a pickup truck and doing it and trying to set up and spilling ammo in the parking lot. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We quickly snowballed into, well, let's see how big we can get. We quickly realized no one wanted to talk to us. The Federals, the Hornadies, the Winchester, they were like, yeah, screw you, man. Talk to us when you can buy $1 million worth or a tractor and trailer worth. We're like, well, that's where we want to be.
Wow.
We ended up getting some really good contacts. We still use them. I'm not going to disclose who it is.
Okay.
But we kind of circumvented the way to deal with the factories direct, and that's all. I'm going to leave it at there.
Okay.
But so we started doing them. We started doing gun shows and just flipping the money we made at gun shows back into buying ammo, back into the business, making it grow. You know, we both had full-time jobs at this. I'm still in the aviation. He's still doing construction, and we would just be to the point where, you know, we would go pick up ammo from Federal, and we would rent a 26-foot box truck, and we had to go, you know, with $50,000 in cash. They didn't want to deal with us. They didn't want to give us any 30-day terms. They didn't want a company check. They didn't want shit. They wanted cash because they didn't know who we were.
Wow.
We figured out that
cash is king.
Yeah, so we would go fill up. A box truck. We started out going there for 20-foot enclosed trailer, and just stacking as much ammo as we could in it, and yeah, stuff like that. And then, you know, going to gun shows and selling it all, and just reinvesting that money back in ammo, getting bigger and bigger to the point where we're like, hey, man, now we want pallets. How many can we get? I started, you know, I called up Norma, this company called Ruwag, who's the parent company for Norma Ammo. Norma's an old company. If you've been a shooter for a while, you've heard of Norma. But yeah, we're direct dealer. Got in direct with them. Wolf, you know, we just got 20. We get tractor and trailer loads of Wolf every 2 weeks. We get pallets from Norma now every two, you know. I just went and picked up 6 pallets of 5.56 yesterday from.
Wow.
So, yeah, we made some really good contacts, and we quickly realized that, you know, yeah, I mean, when I pick up 5 pallets of 5.56, you know, that's Jesus. I'm not even going to tell you the check I wrote, but we could have bought a house with that.
I'll be over your house, man.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, we went from doing gun shows to, you know, we're doing gun shows half of the year, and our wives are getting pissed at us because we're never home, really. I mean, there's some days, man, 7 weeks in a row and no days off. come back, go back to full-time job. And it quickly snowballed into buddy of ours, Scott Stewart, High Velocity Arms. So he wanted to kind of team up with it. He had a gun shop. We were doing ammo. And at the time we first started out, we were using some of his vendors to get ammo and just reselling it. Not a whole lot of it, but what we could get. So we ended up going to the business with Scott, teaming up, moved into a new facility in Fredericksburg. He did the guns. We did the ammo. We quickly outgrew that. Had a conversation with Scott like, hey, man, we got to go. We're quickly outgrowing this facility. And the reason we outgrew was because we started selling stuff online. We got tired of doing gun shows and quickly figured out, like, online, you got a nationwide audience. Right. What you're seeing. And it quickly grew that. And it was a growing pain. It took a year and a half to do that. We were just shipping. All I was doing, I was in the back of the shop shipping ammo. And Dave's been in there and seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quickly went from that to we were outgrowing. Like we're getting deliveries of pallets and there wasn't enough room in there. So we moved into a larger facility, got as I said, we started buying pallets of ammo and getting these deliveries, and it was all just reinvesting back in the business. We weren't making nothing at that point. We were still having full-time jobs, but it quickly came to a point where I left my job in the aviation. Dave closed down his construction business, and we went at it full-time. We went at it full-time doing gun shows for a while, and the gun shows were supporting us doing this. And I'd come back. We'd come back on the weekdays and we'd ship ammo. We'd come back on the weekend, have all these internet orders, and ship it out. Now we got four full-time guys, and that's all they do is ship ammo. So we got 6, 7, 8, 9 employees now. And we're just,
still
some of them, some of the employees now, they just do internet stuff. They manage the internet, they manage the website. As we get ammo in, they put it up for sale. We have a discussion about prices and what we paid for it and stuff like that. But yeah, we just, Monday morning, I'm going to go in there and have 1,000 orders to ship out.
Good Lord.
Yeah, 1,000 orders. And for the last month, but the last 2 months, it's been like that. Show up Monday, everybody buys over the weekend. And normally when we put ammo up, I just picked up 6 pallets of 5.56. I'm sure that'll be gone Monday. We literally put it up yesterday for sale on the internet, and it'll be gone Monday. So we got to ship all that stuff out. We just invested a lot in infrastructure as far as automation, as far as like putting ammo in the box to ship it and then send it through a machine. It packages it all up, tapes the box, puts a shipping label on it, and we just pallet. We have to, because shipping 1,000 orders manually it would crush us. It would take us a week to do it, and you can't have people waiting for a week. If I order ammo and it says you got it in stock, damn it, I want my ammo within a couple of days. So. Yeah,
so you're doing better than Optics Planet.
What's that?
You're doing better than Optics Planet. Then you're actually getting your stuff out.
And we're still small enough now where we can still provide that customer service. If we screw your order up, hey, accidentally we get 1,000 orders, we send you the wrong ammo by mistake, we can correct that ammo. We can correct that mistake now, like that day. As soon as you let us know, we can do it and have you a new tracking number and your ammo back to you, your right ammo to you. We're still small enough. I don't think we ever want to get big enough where we can't do that. I think customer service is lost in this industry. I think if you call up, I don't know, wherever you call up SG Ammo, not for them guys. Those guys are great and they're a giant in this business. But
yeah, they do good work.
Hey man, you can
get sponsored.
No, you can call up our company. You can get the owner of the company on the phone, and he'll take care of it like that. And I think that's unheard of right now. And we're getting big enough now. We're going to move into a. Man, it's scary to say this. We are in negotiations, and it's probably going to happen into a 40,000 square foot warehouse. So
wow,
that's where it's going. We are in. I'm not going to say too much because it's not happening. So we went to the ATF. We upgraded all our FFLs. A lot of these people won't talk to you unless you have a federal firearms license. They want you to know you're legit, that you're actually in it. You're not some guy just selling out of your mom's basement. So, and that's the way we took it from buying a couple of cases of ammo to pallets and truckloads. So, when all this COVID started, ammo, that was the first panic, really ammo started, people were buying guns and they were buying ammo and they were hoarding ammo. Now you got, that happened. These riots started happening. That was the second wave where people started doing it again. And now we're at like kind of like the third stage now with the election and inauguration day. We're at like the third stage where there's just nothing out there for American-made ammo. And the president, CEO of Federal just did a YouTube video and he hit it. People always ask me, Andy, where's the ammo at? Where are these people not making it? Are they hoarding? Whatever. But Federal, the manager and the CEO of Federal came on and said, hey, look, man. Basically, I don't think he said it, but I heard that they had to shut down the assembly line a couple of times for COVID. People and they had to disinfect everything. That puts you behind. You had, like I said, the first wave of COVID. There's 7 million new shooters at the beginning of 2020 when this thing first hit. 7 million. That's 7. If everybody wants 1,000 rounds of ammo, add that up times 7 million. Then the second wave hits. There's another 7 million new shooters. It's just they can't keep up. They literally can't keep up, and they are producing ammo as fast as they can. But they have a broad product range, and everybody wants 9mm 5.56 or whatever, and 40 caliber. But that's not the only thing they produce, And I think they're having a problem getting a little bit of raw materials now. The brass, making primers. Jesus, I wish we'd invested in 10 pallets of primers last year because we could have cornered the market in primers right now. There's no primers out there. If you reload, there's nothing. And it's a sad situation, but that's the gist of it. But so
that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. If you're a competition shooter and you like to just shoot for fun, whatever, and you reload, good luck, man. You could have hoarded stuff the last 2 years because there's nothing out there right now. And honestly, to find a box of 9mm Full Metal Jacket right now, I mean, it's non-existent. It's a unicorn.
So what is the status on importing?
So we went to the ATF to get back on that and say, look, we need to upgrade. We want to get an import license, all this stuff. So we did all that. We did it months ago. It seems like the ATF, it's kind of slow walking stuff right now. We should have it any time now. So basically what we have, oh man, I know that for a fact we got about 12 20-foot shipping containers full of product overseas, trying to get on a ship next month in February over here. And that's a mix of 9mm and a bunch of other stuff. So a couple million rounds that we're waiting on. We just need our import license to do it. And I want to show up Monday and hopefully we get the phone call like, yes, you guys got it. We can do that. But, that's our only holdup for doing it. We've done all of our due diligence. We've paid for the ammo. Like I said, we always reinvest back in company. We've paid for all or the majority of the ammo. Those guys got millions of dollars over there and they're trying to put this ammo on the ship, but we need that license to do it. And that's kind of where we're at. So, Federal, Hornady, all them guys tell us kind of privately that, they could dump 10, 20 million rounds of 9mm on the market right now. And you wouldn't even see it. It wouldn't even be a blip on the radar because it would be absorbed. People would buy it like that. So there is no ammo out there. American-made manufacturers doing it. They're trying the best they can, but everything they put on the market is being absorbed. So we started looking at what's overseas, and we had to get some contacts overseas. Pretty hard to do, and you're talking about buying, a year's worth of time at an ammo factory over there, where places like Fiocchi, Southern Ballot, and these PPU and stuff like that. Yep. We were trying to buy a block of factory time, then to produce us ammo, and we want us. Basically, we're trying to buy a steady stream where they send us 6 containers of ammo, we sell it, and then we get 6 containers next month, and we get 6 containers. We're trying to keep it going, But that's the way we are right now. We're trying to get ammo anywhere we can, and ammo over there in the overseas market is drying up too. And all this ammo I'm talking about, we're getting. It's all like the. It's good stuff. It's all brass, NATO spec stuff. So it's not like we're trying to dump a bunch of inferior stuff on the market. But we're trying to buy the best stuff we can at the best price to make it. I don't think we're going to come out of this ammo crisis, for a year or so. And we're trying to get some stuff over here and get it at a reasonable price where we can help guys out. Because everybody wants to I want to go shooting, but I'm not going to give up my personal supply right now to go shoot. And I know, a lot of competition shooters, I get phone calls every day, but I just want whatever you can give me. I can't reload. I need anything. And I feel the pain, man. We're trying to help out, but that's just the situation it is right now, unfortunately. But yeah, sorry to take up so much time explaining that, but yeah, it's dire right now in the shooting world for ammo.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a glimmer of hope that people are out there trying to get import licenses, because we interviewed 2 Canadians back in November.
Yeah.
And nowhere else in the world are they experiencing an ammo shortage. It's only in the United States. So if we can capture some of that other ammunition being made, look, I've shot Fiocchi and I've shot Celler and Balot, and that stuff is good ammo.
It is, man. I got no problem with it.
Really good. Yeah. I am more than willing to buy that and use it and shoot it. I'm like exactly what you're saying. And you guys are the same way, in that we have a finite amount of material and ammo, and I don't even know if I'm going to have a shooting season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys, I know you, Dave, are especially a competition shooter. You're doing a lot. I know you bought ammo from us, a lot of ammo from us. To do that, and USPSA and stuff like that, and you and your son. So how is the competition market looking? Is it like they're just shut down, like there's no competition because of this virus and stuff?
Well, so it's interesting you bring that up, because I have family that have a range up where closer to Huggy in West Virginia, Shadowhawk. And they're awesome. Randy and Lynn are amazing. Not a sponsor, but yeah, Randy and Lynn are awesome. But I mean, they're starting to do
pellet gun.
Thank you. Yeah, pellet gun competitions just to get people something to compete with. So because like you said, USPSA, Steel Challenge, 2-gun, all that stuff that they regularly every weekend, morning, evening session for both days, like that's slowing down. Like the last time I think Huggy and I went up there, it was we had 2 other guys in our squad, and that was it. Like that was the side, like squads going from 12 people down to 4 or 5 people. Like it's hard, and there's dry fire is dry fire, and it's great for training, but people just don't want to give up their ammo to shoot a local match. Because, I know. And even majors at the end of the season, last season when we went to nationals, it still wasn't as big as it was the year before. And most of those people are sponsored and get their ammo paid for, but guys like us that are doing it recreationally, like it's just not worth it to go to a local match because you're wasting your ammo.
I'm
not wasting, but it's not, you know what I mean?
If you're not one of those paid guys, sponsored guys, and God bless those guys because they're good enough and
love
it sponsorship. But if you're a guy like us that wants to shoot competition, the amount you spend in gear and ammo is a car payment every month. It's a car payment, man. And
not more.
If not more, it depends on how deep you want to get into it, man. You can buy some, these people that buy, well, I could say this. Maybe I might get up on a tangent, but there's some guys who can afford to go out there and buy some race guns that, you can buy a $4,000, $5,000 pistol.
Right.
But I can tell you right now, there's some guys out there I know can take a Glock or a Canic or a Ruger American off the shelf and smoke that guy's ass, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's funny because you get the guys who practice and put the time into practicing the fundamentals. That $4,000 or $5,000 race gun doesn't mean nothing to that guy. He can smoke your ass with it, dude. And,
right.
But I think I wish, I've been to some PSA matches, man. And there's guys there's some serious guys out there, man. There's some serious guys who got some $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 guns who were, man, incredible. You look at them, you're like, dude, how are you that fast? How are you that fast and accurate? That's crazy. I think it's pretty cool. And I think that, people don't realize to get to that level of confidence in your muscle memory and everything to run a gun like that, man, it takes a lot.
The elite level athleticism that is required to do that is lost on people that don't understand the sport and the training that goes into it.
Yeah. You're an athlete, man. You go watch a high level or even a local 3-gun match and watch these guys. It's crazy, man. Those guys are, man, they're ridiculous. I was in a platoon in the Marine Corps. We were always shooting. We would shoot a pallet of ammo a week between MP5s and 45s. But man, you watch these guys do this stuff. It's insane, man.
It is.
And malfunctions, how they clear malfunctions and how they shoot and move. And it's crazy. And there's some women out there and young people that are, whoa, man. I mean, they'll make you pretty humble pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
We've interviewed a couple of them.
Yeah. The women's champion was a 17. She's now 18, but she
just had her birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at like Lena Mikulik, whatever.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy to watch it. I went up to Peacemaker National and watched 3-gun match with Jerry. I think I'm saying his name right,
Mikulik.
But man, you go up there and watch some of those guys. It's like holy crap! And I got to watch the Marine Corps 3-gun team, and like that. Man, those guys are That's a high level. It's a high level. You think you're going to go up there as some weekend shooter, and no.
Yeah, trust me, we are very aware. Like we went to nationals knowing we weren't competing for first, second, third, sixth, 100th. Yeah. We were like, we're competing for not last. At least Huggy and I.
But that's a good experience, man. You see, like it's a good experience to do that. To see that level, and to even get into it, to throw your hat in that ring, man, it's commendable because you can be. It's not that you can do it now, but man, you put enough time, you can be there. You can be there like that if you put the time. And unfortunately, we don't have the ammo to do it right now. But you can. Anybody can do it, man. It's just mind over matter. If you sometimes kind of will yourself to do it, put enough dry fire and practice in, man, you can be right up there with some guys, or pretty damn close. A lot of these guys get paid to do it, and that's all they do is shoot. But I wish that would be a great job to have, to be honest with you. Get a pile of ammo dropped off by ammo sponsor and some guns and just go shoot. That'd be great. But
that would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
That's a dream come true right there.
It really is, man. Yeah.
Now, Andy, I ran into you. This sticks in my head. I remember it was either October or November of 2019.
Yep.
So like 3 months before the pandemic even hit. And
where were you at?
I want to say we were at the Fredericksburg Gun Show.
Oh, it probably was, yeah.
And you were like, dude, he's like, there's an ammo shortage, man. He's like, you were like, man, I can't find ammo. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because you had what looked to me like your normal stash of ammo.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was before the pandemic ever started.
It was kind of like, it must have been the beginning of 2020. Like the January, February. Because I remember about February, March is the first time I started hearing the words coronavirus or COVID-19. I'm like, what the hell is the COVID-19? I didn't know what the hell. But then when you started paying attention, and in this business, you could see like, holy crap, it's getting ready to be a rush because people are going to panic. And we predicted a little bit, but we had no idea it's going to be as bad as it was. We were doing gun shows in different locations almost every weekend, and typically Fredericksburg was our worst producing show, I should say. But I think Fredericksburg, we actually set a record for every show. I mean, we sold. I'm not going to disclose numbers, but man, we did.
No.
And you could see it happening because people were telling us, I want to buy ammo and I need to buy a gun because we are going to get locked down, and I'm scared that the people that don't have anything and can't provide themselves will try to take it from me. And that was their reasoning. And I was like, well, you better buy it now because
it's not going to be around.
It's going to either disappear, the ammo is going to disappear, or it's just going to go, the prices are going to skyrocket. And the reason these prices skyrocket is because, and I hate to say it, the hoarder, but hey, man, you should have as much ammo as you think you need. But the people started hoarding. And when, people start hoarding ammo or stuff like that, or raw materials start becoming a problem, then that it just, I would tell people like this. If you go to a restaurant and you want to order seafood or fish or something, and it says on the menu market price, it's because it fluctuates, and that's the way ammo is right now. It's the market price for everything in the gun and ammo industry right now. I mean, I've talked to gun dealers all the time, and they can't get guns right now.
Well, and that's even like Canik is a really good example because Canik is a very reasonably priced firearm for the quality that you're getting. Right now, try finding a Canik of TP9, SFX, Elite, whatever, for what you were getting it at in the beginning of 2019, end of 2018. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. You're right about those guns. Canik is one of those. For that price, you're not going to buy a better gun.
Yeah.
No. If you want to get into competition shooting or just have a really nice, man, I've seen guns that are $200 more expensive than some of those guns.
Andy.
That are just as nice, and the Canik is just as nice or nicer than some of them.
Yeah.
The guy
is not a sponsor, but we'd love them to be, just in case anybody's
I
listening.
know David's a big fan of him.
Yeah.
He kind of turned me on to him.
Well,
And we were looking at him when we were up in the gun shop up there, and we were getting some in, and man, those things are nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're really nice.
Well, and the guy who was second to Max Michel at Nationals was shooting a Canic.
Really?
Yep. So number 2 in the country, right behind Max Michel, shooting a Canic.
See, that's a testament, like I said earlier. You can be sponsored. You can have all this high-speed gear and $7,000 3-gun ARs and pistols, man. But, dude, you can take a Canic like that, and you don't have to do there's some upgrades to things. You don't have to do very little. You have to do very little to them. And that
Right. Strength is about it.
Yeah, and that thing's like a sewing machine, man. It's always going to go. It's always going to work, man.
And he's not sponsored.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this goes to the point where a lot of people are saying, I mean, you can't even say it's a good gun for the price. You just say it's a good gun.
It's a good gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Wanzik Kim is shooting an $1,800 Walther Q5, and he was, what, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
You know, here's a $500 Canic.
Right.
Second.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, he didn't pay $500. He's probably got $500 in upgrades and everything in that thing. You know, close to it. I don't know what the Canics go through. I think they were less than 500 when I was looking at it, but.
Yeah, but right now, that's just to speak to that point, that it's literally for what you were getting it for. It, like, you're not finding guns at what we would have normally been like, oh, this is a reasonable price for that firearm. Like, even the SIG, like, because I shoot SIG, not a sponsor, which would be great, but yeah, I shoot SIGs. Like, good luck finding my 320 X5 for under $900 now. And not like their Legion where it's super faint, like just a regular 320 X5. Good luck finding that at a normal price.
I went to the range with a guy, a good friend of mine, Shelton Little, and he had X5 with the red dot on, stuff like that. Man, I like that thing. It's
a great gun. I
was close to buying one. That thing, I liked it, man. It felt good, but then all this stuff happened. I'm like, dude, I'm not paying that for. I literally just had one of the local sheriff's department. I was talking to him the other day. He was showing me on Gunbroker a 10 millimeter Glock 20. Mm-hmm. They're going on Gunbroker for $1,500.
Easy.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know,
and you're like, oh, I'll go on Gunbroker and get a deal. Nope.
I wonder how much I could sell my Quantico built 1911 for.
You'd be rich. You'd be making it rain.
I'd sell it I'd trade it for a case of ammo at this point.
I'd say, yeah. You can get a case of that. You can get 1,000 rounds of 9mm for that thing, Dave.
Probably.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting because you remind me of a story that was told to me about this guy who bought a pallet of ammunition.
Yeah.
And literally he died. He got this pallet of ammunition at his house and he died. And so his wife literally just told people, come take it, because she didn't want it. Oh, so I know that guy was like rolling over in his grave going like, what? I just dropped all this money on all this ammunition. Yeah. And now you're just giving it away. And so
he has no idea what that cost.
Where's she at?
Oh,
you can't tell a story like that and be like, oh.
It was out here in Winchester area, but the part was
way to go,
like,
teammate.
Look, I just took it as a story to say, hey, look, don't be such a hoarder. Take what you need, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because, by you hoarding it, it's not going to do you any good eventually.
Yeah, the hoarding is just getting worse, though, because when you can't find it, when people do find it, they're going to buy everything that they can.
Time out. Right. For those of us that don't have salt and pepper in our hair yet, I got time to use the ammo. It's not my fault you're going to be seeing Jesus tomorrow.
Well, because I'm in this business and people always ask me, man, I bet you have tons of ammo. I'll be honest with you, man. I got what I got. And I got a lot of guns in Warrenton at my brother's house. A lot of guns on inherited. My dad, like I said, he was in Clark Brothers for 30 some years. And I got a pretty good collection, man. And some nice stuff, but I don't have all this stuff. I got an AR, and I think I got an 870 shotgun and 2 Glocks. Yeah. And, for my AR, I think I have 1,000 rounds, and I probably have 200 rounds of 9mm. I don't need 10,000 rounds. I'll probably shoot and that's just for, you always say, what if the poop hits the fan? What are you going to do? I can't carry 10,000 rounds. And literally, if there's a wave of Chinese coming across my front yard or Russians, whatever, everybody's then if I can get 1,000 of them, I'm saving one bullet for myself. Like I can't shoot that much. You know what I mean? Like Jesus.
Right.
People
it's like Wolverines.
I know.
Like Red Dawn all over again.
You need 5,000 rounds for each gun. I'm like, not me, man. I need what I have, And if I want to go super fun, then now if you're going to go shoot competition and stuff, it's really not hoarding at that point because it's like putting gas in your car. It's like putting gas in your gun. You need a lot of rounds, man. You're going to go shoot 1,000 rounds, dude. You need 10,000 rounds. You're going to be a competition shooter, but just the average everyday guy who's a prepper or something like that, 10,000 rounds, man. Good luck, buddy. Because
it's so funny you say that because I have quite a few prepper friends, and they're just like you just said. They got thousands of rounds, and I'm like going, "What are you going to do with all that when you can't carry it all?" You
need an F-350 to carry it all.
You need stronger quads, is what you really need, Huggy.
Yeah,
you got to put in a little bit more work.
I know.
Can't carry it all.
Strengthen those back straps.
Carry a full-blown human on your back. You can carry a couple rounds, okay?
So
he's just getting lazy because he's getting old. He's like, I just need 2 mags. I'll be fine.
All right, so Andy, I know your answer is because I saw it on one of the groups we're on together, private groups on Facebook. So do you think retail prices will return to normal at all, or even close to what they were in the pandemic?
I do.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, though.
Okay.
I say that. I think it's going to take a while for the ammo manufacturers to produce enough. Well, I guess they can flood the market, I guess, where you're not worried about, Jesus, I need to buy a 9mm because you're not going to be able to get it. Right. Where it used to be you could go find 9mm at Walmart or wherever. People weren't worried about it. And a box of 50 rounds of 9mm costs $10 or something like that. So I think it's going to be a while before they do that. I think once they do that, once everyone stops panicking, I think we're in a panic right now. I think once that panic, I hate to say it, but Americans are lazy. We're all lazy to some point, but everybody's worried about, man, if Joe Biden gets in there, we're going to have an uprising. We're going to go do all this. And no, you're not, dude. Sit down and shut up. You're not going to go be killing Democrats or whatever you got. You're not going to do that. Just shut up. 2 weeks from now, you'll be like squirrel. You'll be on to something else. And so once all those people calm down, the patriots, the fake whatever you want to call them, I'm a patriot. I shouldn't say that, but once all these people calm down and they stop hoarding ammo and it gets back to normal, then it's going to be like the gas prices. A couple of years ago, gas prices were $4. Went down to like $1.99. I think it's going to be like that. Once the panic's over, I think it will. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think we're about 2 years. I think it's going to be 2 years, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be
I agree with you. I agree.
But I think during that 2 years, you might see it gradually. You might see it start getting better and better. I don't think it's going to be overnight, though. I may be wrong. I don't know. But
like it'll naturally drop back to where it would normally meet its regular level of inflation.
Yeah, it's going to be like the gas prices went from $4 to $3.43, and then it went to $2.50, and now when it's going to gradually go down as it starts getting there. But it's going to take the people to don't be an idiot, man. Jesus.
It's like toilet paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is Ammo's version of toilet paper.
Yeah, 4 months ago you couldn't find toilet paper. I just went this morning and actually bought some toilet paper. But I think it's going to be. I don't know. I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think this political climate? It could be. I don't know.
That was my next concern. Is I know that Biden's coming in wanting to cancel online ammo retail sales.
Yeah.
So that's
a big concern.
That's going to create another issue.
It's going to create hey, let's face it, man. let's look at Amazon. You can sit in your pajamas and watch TV and watch a movie with your laptop and order anything you need off and have it delivered to your house within a couple of days. I mean, ammo's like that now. It's if you can go find ammo, go on Ammo Seek,
right?
Find who's got the cheapest ammo and have it delivered. But yeah, to have that stop, to have ammo, to have it where, I mean, that's what we do. We make money off selling ammo online. If he stops that, I guess, well, I don't know. I guess we'll go back to doing gun shows or something. But it's also concerning to us because, man, we're getting ready to go into a 40,000 square foot facility. And that's
right.
Because we're growing so fast, we need to.
The space for storage.
Yeah, we're internet fulfillment. If they shut down the internet, I don't know. Do we open up a massive internet? You just walk in like a grocery store for ammo? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's but it's really concerning though because you don't know, man. He's signed
a sleeping bag.
Yeah, he signed something like stupid. These executive orders, and Beto O'Rourke's going to come in and be the gun czar and take all of our stuff and put all these regulations. And they want me to pay. I got a bunch of AR magazines. I got 50 AR magazines. They want me to pay like $200 a piece from tax for that. Come on, man.
Yeah, Dave and I did the math on that one day. I lost all my stuff in a tragic boating accident.
Absolutely.
In case somebody sees this episode and is like, "Oh, he's got the bottom of a river."
You and 25 other million gun owners.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I had them on the back of the boat and I forgot to tie them down, and they all they fell. Sorry.
Gary, will this stuff happen? I think, Congress, and there's some senators and congressmen and stuff out there. And I think the Capitol's full of people who want to see something happen. And whatever that is, it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be good for us. I don't think it's going to be anything that, guys like us just want to go out and shoot guns and recreation and go hunting and whoever. And we're not harming anybody, man. That's all we want. It's the Second Amendment. And
how are we hurting everybody just going to the range on a weekend shooting a competition? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
emotionally harmful.
I know, man.
To someone's psyche.
They think we're crazy and they think something's wrong with us, and I don't know, man.
They sit there and look at the guns being harmful, but yet at the same time, look how many automobiles have killed people.
Oh man,
they have not done a thing about it.
Hopkins, in 2017, Johns Hopkins came out with a study, an estimate of 250,000 people die every year from doctors' mistakes, physician mistakes. So
that's 250,000 people.
Outlaw doctors.
That's an astronomical number.
With doctors.
Yeah, that's an astronomical number.
Why don't you try to figure that out first?
Right. I can go get my Glock right now and go to my liquor cabinet and get a bottle of whiskey. And that bottle of whiskey kills more people every day than fucking, I'm just saying, like, more people die from getting drunk, driving a car, or just being stupid on alcohol than any amount of guns ever going to happen. It's statistics, man. And, I think some of these statistics they have on gun violence, I think it's skewed, man. I mean, you would have it. Oh, yeah. It seems like you walk outside your door and it's like the Wild West, like bullets are flying everywhere. Sometimes like, dude, it's just not like that. And people aren't like that. I think the most people that own guns are responsible gun owners. They grew up around it kind of like we probably did, or in the military, and they were responsible. They know gun safety. And the fact that when I was in school, we got taught gun safety. You taught the Boy Scouts, and you did, man. And it was nothing for us to go out in the woods when my dad's at work at 10 years old, and he completely trusted us to go out and hunt squirrels. Wasn't like we were all.
I mean, you and I grew up in the same county because I'm actually from the Plains.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So I hear you completely. That's how things were. I mean, everybody rode around with a gun in the back of the truck and everything of that nature. In the rack. Yeah. Nobody said anything. Nobody did any harm.
And no one died.
Right. Exactly. So, I think this is ridiculous in my personal opinion. It's like you get one bad apple. It's like, and that's what I look at. It's like one bad apple in a bunch, and you're going to throw that whole bushel of apples away?
Sure.
No.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
All right. You just take that one bad apple out. That's it.
And I think, man, a lot of it too, Huggy, is politicians too. And I guess mostly politicians. Yeah. I think they're just uneducated.
Oh yeah. No. You know what?
You're just uneducated about guns.
I disagree because they are educated. Because you know what? Half of them have guns and they don't say anything. They don't want you to know that they have a gun in their house.
It's true.
They play to the public of the weaker minds and go, "Oh, they're so bad." Yet you could probably go to their house and be like, "What's that over in the corner?" "Oh, you didn't see nothing. Come over here."
It's true. It's true.
You know? So,
but in general, though, I think there's this whole, I say the mothers of America that just think guns are bad. They think, you walk in your house and you walk in my house, you walk in my bedroom, there's an 870 in the corner.
Right.
I don't know. I probably have some neighbors that come over to visit and see it. And they probably think the gun's just going to fall and go down and shoot everybody, just walk around and murder everybody. I don't know. There's that mentality out there, and I just don't understand. I think it's just uneducation. People are just weird, man.
Now I will have to say that I agree with you. There are some people that are out here that just have no education.
Yeah.
They don't understand. Yet, I'll use the term, if things go to hell in a handbasket, they're going to run to you and be like, "Oh my God, protect me!" Really?
I know.
You want me to protect you now after you sit there and said that.
But I think you're absolutely right. And I've actually had people say that, like, well, we don't want to have guns in our house because we have kids or this, whatever. But man, we can just come to your house, Andy. And I'm like, but you know what? Having kids is not an excuse. I mean,
right.
Dude, my parents had me and my brother, and I was an idiot when I was a kid, man. I was ADD and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I knew enough because I was ingrained in my head. Don't touch the guns.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
My dad taught me enough about guns that I was trusted with them.
Right.
I think that's having kids is more of a reason for you. Like, because I didn't get into it, but my in-laws are very different than me and my wife now, obviously. But like my mother-in-law asked me one day when my wife and I first got together, like, why do you carry a gun? And I said, your daughter and your grandchildren. I said, aside from the fact that constitutionally I'm allowed to, I was like, I carry a gun it is a tool. That's all it is. It's like a hammer. It serves a function. And if I never have to use that tool, great. But I would rather have the tool on me when I needed it than be like, well, I don't have the tool, so I have to rely on something else. So that's the thing. All it is a tool. My kids, like my 4-year-old, he doesn't play with the guns. He knows that you don't touch it. And then as he gets older, obviously we'll educate him. But I would rather him see it as commonplace and not something that's a mystery that he's curious about. And that way he knows, like, if you have knowledge, you have power. If you're educated on a subject, then you can speak to that subject. We shouldn't have people that are uneducated dictating legislation that have no idea what the heck they're talking about. Just like you shouldn't have an uneducated child messing around with a gun. Like, again, it's a tool, but a hammer is just as dangerous as a firearm.
You wouldn't let your 6-year-old kid jump in the car and go to the grocery store. Why'd you let him handle a gun? You know what I mean? Like, but the uneducation part of what I wanted to say, sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, but we're at gun shows. We did gun shows all the time. And we always had this thing in Velocity Ammo that at the end of the day, who fielded the stupidest question? And it was amazing because, you would have people. I mean, I will preface this by saying everyone now walks around with a freaking supercomputer in their pocket. Anything you want, you can look up on this, anything. So people will literally do more research on what car to buy or what keto diet to get on than they will about, I'm going to go buy my first gun. Anything about it. So they'll go to the gun show, buy a gun. They'll walk up to me, hey, I need ammo. Okay, well, I just bought a Glock. You got any ammo for a Glock? I'm like, yeah, what caliber is it? They're like, I don't know. It's a Glock. You have Glock ammo? I'm like, holy moly. It's literally, I'm like, you need to get your money back and go buy a ball peen hammer or a stun gun. You don't need it. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
But it's dumb. It's like they don't know the difference between the bare day one stuff like Full Metal Jacket and Hollow Point. No difference. They think the grain weight is how much powder's in it. They don't. They don't know. They just think it's a Glock. They think they're all the same. I don't know. It's crazy.
See, it's a good thing I don't work with you, because I would bring a dry erase board.
I know.
I would write all that up there. So when people come up there and ask a dumb question, I just point at the board and say,
"Yep." I know. It almost got to that point where it was just wow. But
so what's your craziest gun show story?
There's a couple of them, but probably this guy walked up and he was like, "Hey, I got a question." He wanted to buy about ammo. And normally, hey, what's the difference between this box of, he wanted to buy some 40 cal. He just bought some 40 pistol. So he wants to know the difference between this range ammo, the FMJ, and the hollow point. And his question was, so I'm telling him the difference, he's like, "So I got a question for you." And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "So if I want to kill someone, specifically a woman, I would want to use the hollow points, right?" So I was like, "Dude, your money's no good here. I'm not selling the ammo. Get away. Don't ask me questions." There was something in me thought he was serious. I don't know. But I've literally had, I don't know, man. I've had people buy 380 and try to put it in their 38 special. I've had just any story about on education with guns. I've had it, man. And the best of it is 15 times during a gun show, people walk up, they hand you a gun with a box with a gun in it and say, "I need ammo for this." I'm like, "All right, what caliber is it?" "I don't know." "What does caliber mean?" And I was like, "Where does it shoot?" They're like, "It's a SIG. It takes SIG ammo." I'm like, "Holy moly. You are going to hurt yourself." Literally. I tell them, like, "Man, congratulations being a new gun owner, but I'm dead serious where you need to go spend $2,000 on training to learn the basics."
Yeah.
Like, "Do you know how to load it? Do you know?" "Nope." I'm like, and their answer is, "I'm gonna go watch a YouTube video." Man, YouTube's gonna kill you. Literally. It's not, it's funny, but it's not funny because those people walk among us.
Yeah, that's definitely not fun.
Those are the guys, I hate to say it, but the stereotype guy you see at the gun show or the grocery store with some combat boots on, his 511 pants tucked in the top of them, in a nylon holster with a high point stuck in it. He thinks he's a Navy SEAL or something. It's like,
well, and I would say actually, Andy, and I would think the other two would probably confirm this, just because of what we've seen, is it's typically not the idiot who injures himself. It's the idiot who ends up injuring or killing somebody else.
Yeah, and that's the most important part of that whole conversation. He'd be lucky if he hurt himself, but tragically, he's going to hurt somebody else.
That's like I've been working on I've been updating one of my PowerPoint outlines for the paramedic students. And it took me a little while to find this video that I was searching for that I had seen several years ago, where a chick is playing with a gun in the front of a car. And the dude's like, "You're making me nervous. Don't do that." And she ends up shooting him in the grape. Yeah. And you literally see the stream of blood just come shooting out of his head.
Oh, I've seen that video. That's horrifying, man. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it is now in my PowerPoint, so I can go, now let's talk about it.
And, the reality of it is that people like us know, and people who are probably watching this podcast know, because, this is the subject matter we're talking about. But once you pull that trigger, man, there's no taking it back. You can't. It's not like the Matrix where you can stop time. It's done, man. It's done. If you shoot someone in the head, there's nothing you can do. I hate to see it, but if you've never seen anybody get shot in the head or a gunshot wound, it's fucking horrific, man.
And the funny part, it's interesting. I shouldn't say funny part, but I took my daughter, and I taught her like hunting and everything like that at a very young age. And that was one of the things I try to instill is like, hey, look, even when bow hunting, because we would bow hunt a lot, was the fact that once you let that arrow go, there's no getting it back.
That's right.
So once you kill that animal or kill that person, it's no, oops, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no doing CPR anymore.
Yeah, there's no respawn button. They don't end up coming back in a different place.
Yeah, you can't hit delete button on that one. It's
right. And so I try to teach her that, hey, if you're going to, do this, you make sure that this is what it's meant for, and if you're going to kill this deer, you're going to kill this deer, not just to wound it, or
right here.
But just realize that once you let it go, It's not coming back. And it's
right.
And like you said, this is not a video game. Like Leo was saying, did you hit the reset button or like, oh
yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
Second live coming in, jumping back in, and watching pop back up. It's just not going to do that. So
yeah,
again, that's education. That I instilled in my daughter, and a lot of people don't instill in their kids because they sit there and look, and I see all these kids playing Grand Theft Auto, and they think that oh look at that, I just go kill them, and then look they pop back up somewhere else, or it's like the parents are not educating these kids these days to understand that this is what
reality that. That's not the way real life is, but yeah. And that old saying, man, my dad taught me this a long time ago, and I've always kept this saying, like, more unloaded gun. There's been more people killed by unloaded guns.
Right.
Because, the first thing you do, if someone hands you a gun, you guys, I would trust if Dave Riddle handed me a pistol, 100% that it's unloaded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But or 99.9 to the nth of 99, but that that thing I've taught, I'm just going to check it because that's a safe thing to do. Mm-hmm. That's the way you handle guns. It doesn't matter. If I've watched them unload or in, you'd always got to check it. And, to that, more people have been killed by the unloaded gun. I've actually, to this story, and then we can talk about something else, whatever you got. So when I was in the gun shop, we were up at the gun shop. I was helping the guy up there one time. He had a crowd in there, and this guy and his kid came in, wanted to see this Ruger 1022 on the shelf. So I get the rifle down, lock the bolt back, make sure it's unloaded, hand it to him. I hand it to the father, right? He's like a 10-year-old boy, 8 to 10-year-old boy. He takes it, closes the bolt on it, points it at his son, and pulls the trigger and goes, pow, pow, oh man, look at this thing. And I was like, I literally I felt like beating a guy to death with the gun. I handed it to him and I kicked him the hell out. Like, dude, get out. That he literally took the gun, pointed at his son, and was like making like pew pew sounds, whatever. And I was like, wow. I almost came over to counter the guy. Like, I literally said, man, get the hell out and don't ever come back.
I don't know if you can tell by our visceral reactions right now. None of us are okay with that one.
Yeah, that literally happened. And there was another guy in the gun shop. He was like, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
That's
not okay.
That stupidity exists, but that's the level of uneducation. And there's some people out there who you got to do a lot of research, and some people shouldn't have a gun. Sorry. And some people shouldn't have kids, but that's another subject. But yeah, that's it. There's a lot of stupid people out there, and there's a lot of stupid questions, and you see a lot of stupid stuff when you do enough gun shows and stuff.
Well, I will say that's why most, if not all of us, have a job, is because somebody out there did something stupid.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Well, Andy, that's about all we got for you. Is there any charities you support or anything you want to plug?
We get back into this, and ammo becomes more available and stuff like that. As a company, we would like to Velocity Ammo Sales support. I always support. I'm a Recon Marine. I support the Marine Reconnaissance Foundation. I donate money to the Recon and Sniper Foundation. There's kinds of charities, and they've reached out to me and wanted to know. Recon and Sniper Foundation has a shooting team and wanted to know if we could do something with ammo. So we were going to do something, and then this crap happened, and we just don't have enough ammo to do it, to be honest with you. But yeah, once this stuff clears up, there is some stuff like that to do, to give back to the loyal customers and just charities and organizations that I believe in personally and stuff like that. And yeah, man, you guys hit me up. I'd love to, we'd love to be a sponsor of you guys too. We could talk about that offline, but yeah, stuff like that. And just young shooters, before all this started happening, there's a group of us around the shop that shot up at Northern Virginia Gun Club in King George for their rimfire steel competition. And that was fun, man. That was fun. Inexpensive way to get into competition. You're shooting, or if you're USPSA or something, that's a good way to hone your skills. Because basically a 2-gun, 22, little custom 22 and 22 pistol and rifle, and just shoot rimfire steel, man. That was fun. And we used to sponsor a couple of little kids that did that because there were some young kids that were doing it. And they were, like I said, they would humble me, man. They were good at it, and so we used to do that too. But we got to get back into that stuff too. And you guys can always throw if there's something you guys have in mind for a charity or something like that. Yeah, you guys reach out to me and let me know.
Yeah, we're always happy to plug stuff like that on here. So,
well, and how do what is the website you guys use for your retail sales?
VelocityAmmoSales.com. And I get, that's the best way to look at even what I get 100 phone calls and texts a day about, hey man, do you have this in stock or whatever? And a lot of times I can't keep what we have in stock. I put one case of 9mm FMJ on the website yesterday, and it was literally gone in 30 seconds. Wow. I'm not even joking. 30 seconds, it was gone.
Wow.
20 boxes. But so the best way to see, what we have in stock or answer those questions, just go to the website and look. It's just going to simply say out of stock. There's a notify me button on there. You can hit it and be notified pretty quickly when we do get it. And that's why it sells out so quick, because a lot of people hit that notify me when it's back in stock. And as soon as they get that email or text message, whatever it is, they're buying it. So that's the best way. There's a couple of ammo out there that's pretty getting readily available right now. There's all the steel case stuff, the 223 Wolf 760 by 39. That stuff's pretty out there. I mean, the price is not what it used to be, but it's still readily available. Like I said, we're talking about import. Hopefully we can bring some 5.56 9mm back on the market at reasonable prices here soon. And I'll let you guys know that too. So
okay.
It happens too. So yeah, just that, VelocityAmmoSales.com. And I appreciate you guys having me on here. And it's been a pleasure talking to you guys and meeting you guys.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I don't know, we can all meet up somewhere and have a drink or a hamburger and just talk. You guys are nice guys. So yeah,
anything that gets me away from my kids for 5 minutes. I'm in. I love my kids. Man. I love my kids.
Until next time,
don't be a little bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I hope you continue to listen and tell everybody you know about us. You can find us at www.casualshooterpodcast.com.